Hello and welcome to TFT Worlds Day 2, game number 4. Enjoy.
Where we make it work. The socialite is in and he's trying to play around that, I think, but now we're gonna go into those 20 golds, probably, like you said, and find an angle here.
Does this dare to be a Twitch reroll? I think it might. I mean, they're holding the Camille's on the bench. The Twitch is already in there. This very well might be a Twitch reroll, and honestly, I'm here for it. That's exciting, right? Taking these situations where, yeah, you're early 20 gold, able to make a reroll happen, like that's the perfect spot for it, right? So why not try it?
I mean, it's true. We've seen one Twitch reroll, like I said before. It came from Unid and it didn't manage to get into those top 4, but maybe this time is different. With Chemtech, Tryndamere being a thing that's pretty good, you might want to actually go for that moment early on and then pivot, since the items aren't so different, maybe. But yeah, it's good to see different comps come out of these players. I'm not sure I like the Rat King as much as, for example, the Ash reroll that we saw earlier. Not the biggest fan of the comp in general, but I love seeing variety for sure. And we are on Uzul's board here, who has the Last Whisper on the Azrael, and trying to get that Yordle moment didn't exactly work out. So we are on Arcanist for now, with that Cassidon in there.
Yeah, Arcanist, they did already take Backfoot, which Backfoot doesn't really lock you into AD on its own, but the Last Whisper more so does. Backfoot is just generally good when you want to generate mana, right? Generate more casts, things like that. This is a strong early game board for Muzo, but is perhaps not the strongest, especially when there's units like a Talon jumping right on into the backline, onto the Ezreal. But actually the scrap to lock it keeps the Ezreal around for a lot longer than expected. I still don't think it's going to be enough. Brand in the early game does so much. Pair with the Caitlyn too, sniping away units. Ging aggressively goes to level 5, and this is exactly what I'm worried about for this lobby dynamic, right? Players leveling to 5 pre-carousel like Ging, and actually TXE did as well, puts the pressure on, speeds up the tempo, so players are going to be in a worse spot to go these fast level 8 styles like we see probably want to happen with players like Milk and Megumin, who, if Megumin's not re-rolling, right, then they do want to, because these are what these early econ augments try to accomplish. But yeah, aggressive early leveling, see if it works out for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that Ging is probably known for. He really likes going for those aggressive boards, going in early, coming hard at him, trying to get that win streak going that we're seeing him do right now. Just whatever the game gives him, he's going to roll with it and try to get a win streak out of it. And so far, it's working pretty good for Ging, so I'm happy to see that. But the problem that we have, spectated in the past couple of games is when it comes to mid and late games, the pivot doesn't always work out perfectly. We're seeing the augments come in here, and actually Ging was able to pick up the assassin hard, and I'm a little bit scared this could mean that we're going for a Talon reroll, to be honest, with the Debonaires that he acquired already. I could see that happening. I mean, it was something that players played before.
It could very well happen. It could be Kha'Zix as well, right? Those are the two directions if you are going to lean into assassins. It was actually the player we're seeing whose perspective right now, Woozle, who went assassin direction in the previous game, actually had like a assassin's emblem on a Tahm Kench and an Irelia, which was a strong board. But yeah, when there's these other players like Ging who can make it happen, I'm really looking forward to seeing that potential. Moving over to Unid's board. Unid needs a strong finish here. They got the item grab bag as their first augment choice. Probably was a Titans, because that's not something that you would generally slam for an item early on. Unid trying to actually continue this loss streak forward. You don't want to snap this loss streak. That's kind of why this frontline zigs is happening, but the board still might be too strong, and yeah, we'll be winning here against Melk, and that's rough for Unid. Not something that definitely wanted to see happen.
Yeah, I don't think it's ideal, but something you can work with, to be honest.
Yeah.
I do want to highlight that Unid is the only remaining French player we have in the tournament. After I think 4 of them qualified in the first place from the EMEA region. So all of France's pride is currently on his shoulders.
Wow.
And he's really trying to make it out of here. He has a lot of fans rooting in that region for him. So I really hope he can find that angle and make it into at least next day. Because he does what he does have what it takes, but it hasn't been working out so far. And currently, I mean, I'm not as excited for what we're seeing on his board as for Ging, for example. You see a really strong early board, you see an aggressive leveling play. It's more like trying to play it safe, lost streaking, getting some econ. And I'm afraid that's gonna bleed him out too much. Gonna find the spat here as well as a Draven in 3-1. So maybe this is something we're gonna work with.
This is very, very interesting spot, and I would love to see a bit later where Unique does land on, because with that spatula, you have the potential for a mutant emblem, you have the potential for an Arcanist as well, and that would, synergize with those AP items. The Draven, it's a little hard to make that happen, I think, from that spot, so I don't know, a little rough, but TXC here did actually roll into this NAR 2 right after the stage 2 carousel, so that's really interesting. But moving over to Milk, and yeah, what do you know, a striker emblem here. Milk going his comfortable silver direction, it seems.
No surprise here, I may add. I mean, we've been saying it through all of yesterday and today. Milk had assigned himself to force those strikers, and we've been talking earlier before this game started, Prone, and you were saying that's something that Milk usually does really well. Megaman hitting that cinched 3, the board must be really interesting. I'm pretty sure we're going into the Chemtech direction with that being hit. But you wanted to speak a little bit about Milk's approach. I mean, he's not at Worlds for the first time. He came in 3rd the last time around. What do you make of his play so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think Milk's play is very, very Milk-like, I suppose, for lack of a better term. I mean, he comes into Worlds every time with one kind of strategy that he leans heavily into, and I'm actually a little bit surprised overall this tournament. Milk has kind of deviated away from that more than I would have expected, but he would only do that because he absolutely needs to. So I think he's playing smart, and that's why if I were to, put it on Milk's ability to come back, I would say yes. Like, he's playing this game kind of almost similar to yesterday's game 5 of Juan Mia, playing super risky, knowing when they have to drop really low in HP, hit that massive power spike and come back. Milk is playing that almost exactly the same right now, but we're gonna see that a bit later. Right now it is Megumin who is playing that reroll Twitch style. These Augment choices, though, are definitely
not ideal.
Unoptimal, yeah, to say the least. Funny frontline, not great. It is going to be self-repair, and while this composition can cap out with having 5, or if you super high roll, 7 innovators, it is hard to get there because you have to get through all of these re-rolling first and hit the Twitch, and Megumin has actually rolled all of the gold down early, is not doing the playstyle where you stay above 50, and has still not hit the Twitch. That is an absolute tragedy here for Megumin.
Yeah, not where you want to be, but I just saw another player, and we're actually going to see the board right now hit something, and it is King who has found the talent to just happily stabbing that Azrael in the backline, now onto the Singe. Maybe not the target you wanted on, but nevertheless going to take care of it and delete it, and then going to step on over to that Echo. So Ging will definitely find the win against Megumin here before that innovation creature heals itself back up again, and it's really looking dire for Megumin. But that's not the only player that I'm worried for, Crone, because if you look at the right side of the screen, there's something happening that's, I might say, tragic. Milk is on 28 HP, and while we have seen him come back from that, like in the last game, that is a lot of HP lost in the stage 3-4.
Definitely a lot more than you would typically want, and Milk that last game did come back because of mercenaries. He doesn't have that Milk is probably going to be leveling up to 7 here, rolling it down, trying to find the Sivers, and hopefully if he hits, right, he's going to stabilize. This game is looking really unlikely to be a first place for Milk unless he egregiously high rolls, but yeah, there the level 7 comes through. Multiple players going to be rolling here. Megumin is kind of stuck in that spot where they have to keep rolling as well to try to hit that Twitch 3 because you've already sunk so much gold into it. You have to keep going. Milk is rolling down, does find 2 Sivers, has the pair, so how much more is he willing to roll down? Gnar 2 and just a couple of, 1-cost bodyguards are the only upgraded units on this board. Milk is stopping. And I think I do like this decision. There's already a lot of good items here for the Sivir. There's the Striker emblem as well. It only goes up to 5 Striker right now. 6 isn't in quite yet, but the Twitch 3 was hit by Megumin, so it's going to be taking out the Sivir with just one more cast. Milk needed this round to stabilize, but still is not stable. Taking any more losses right now in stage 3 is really, really bad. Dropping, I mean, not that much, right? To 24 HP. It's still relatively similar, but really needs to get this win streak online to come back.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely need that Sivir 2 at this point. We're getting a little bit of upgrades in the front line, so that should be stable-ish, but I'm not sure I like staying where we are. He's probably thinking I'll wait after PvE because then I at least have a little bit more extra, but if he loses another round, then his HP will be barely anything to work with, and we do need to make it up there. So we're meeting Unit, who has found an Arcanist Misfortune with his augments, and I don't know what to think of that. I think it's pretty cool.
This is definitely cool. I think Unit might be full leading into this Arcanist Misfortune. It's not going to win this round, and Unit's dropping kind of dangerously low. They have 40 gold. It's probably closer to the 40 because they had to sell to get there. 1 Misfortune on the bench, however. Maybe you pray for Misfortune 3? I mean, there's the Arcanist Heart, there's the Arcanist Emblem. It just, I think the only direction Unit can't really pivot out of that right now.
So let's see what Milk does here. So we're going to go into the PvE, need to sell that unit, otherwise it's going to get sold anyway. And I think we're going to hold on to the gold after the PvE round is over and then try and find more units. We see him sell some of the units on the bench right here just to up that econ a little bit, hoping to make it to 42 orbs that drop maybe. And yeah, maybe we can find a good item out of this. Find solution, just going to sell that instantly. Probably also going to sell the Ezreal and finds a rod.
Not great items that Milk was hoping for here. VIP Zeri, I mean, buys it, but really isn't going to pivot, just has to roll all the way down. This game from Milk can almost never be a first place. Milk is playing for like a 6th, maybe a 5th kind of at best here, but he's been forced to roll down way too much gold. Is at 6 Striker, but still being on level 7 means he can't run the 4 Scrap quite yet, and that's a really big kind of enabling point of this composition. Is going to RNG it between who gets the Scrap between the Echo item and the Aurelia as well. It's still a Sivir 1. I mean, yeah. Not the best roll down.
We're gonna meet TXE, who's currently leading the lobby, looking super comfortable up there. But it will be enough for Milk. Finds a win here, 2nd win in a row, and I'm sure that's exactly what he was hoping for. So let's have a look at what everybody else is doing. I see an AP Lucian, and I love seeing that. I don't think it was this board. Yeah, it was the enemies board that we just saw with the 2-star Lucian, fully itemized, perfect. And Mazul is actually still on Yordles.
Yeah, I mean, economy, right? That's the name of the game here. They're looking like they're going to greed until 4-5, level up to 8, roll it down. Hope to make this Draven board work. Now, while players have played Draven in this tournament, there's actually been, I think, maybe around 10 instances of that. It's unlikely that it's going to be lobby winning. It still can get into the top 4, however, so we'll be looking to see how successful that level 8 roll down is. If you're able to hit that Draven 2, definitely feel a lot more comfortable about it. But Megumin's Twitch is fully stacked right now. There's Singe 3, Camille 3, this is exciting. This is exactly what we wanted to see, how players are going to have a different approach to the lobby, especially after the shuffle happened. Megumin has landed on this, and now this composition is not at its prime, right? It was nerfed a little bit in previous patches leading up into Worlds, but, you know, we're on 12-7. Players have experimented with it, you know, flirted the idea of Twitch. It's not been that successful, but this is one of the positions, right? 58 HP, level 6, 20 gold. If Megumin can win streak throughout the rest of stage 4, I definitely think if they're able to push levels, get 5 Innovator online, they can definitely top 4 this game. Especially with players like Unid here who are, you know, I mean, one misfortune away actually, is so close, but if they're not able to hit it, they might be still dropping, right? 4 loss streak and counting.
I mean, we have found the Ari. You already said it. We're only 1 MF away from 3-starring her, and I would really like to see this happen again. Those creative approaches, other than, you know, Sivir, which is also a perfectly fine comp, but I just really like seeing these players try hard for a comp that isn't necessarily the main meta. And Unid is gonna find that win here. Wuzul not too worried with all of the econ he's currently sitting on, but Unid really wants that misfortune now, and I hope he can find it. I'm not sure what King is on currently, but there is a misfortune, and he is going to get it.
There
Just
it
look
is.
at him happily walking towards it, picking it up. Beautiful. So that's gonna give his board so much more strength.
Oh yes, that is exactly what needed, and not a moment too soon, right? Hopefully with that they can go on a bit of a win streak, you know, stabilized. Milk in Milk fashion, honestly, especially with Unid stabilizing there, is looking more and more likely to go 8th as each round goes on. Misfortune 3 comes through, and why not add a Jhin 2 onto it at the same time? That Misfortune and Carousel had a glove, so they can even go IE Jhin if they wanted to, just make him that much more powerful as a secondary carry. It is the kind of 6 Arcanist board, so not that much, you know, powerful scaling that Jhin will get from it, but it is still something. As we move over to VCLF, one of Brazil's representatives, and this is a very tanky Morgana frontline. The backline, however, still needs to be worked on, right? Only Deathblade and a bow on the Ezreal. It is not the strongest, but it is good enough to get us into the late game.
Yeah, but I see a Kha'Zix, and with Execute, Kha'Zix is actually pretty viable, gonna get knocked down from the Zena here. I do want to highlight that while we saw that Misfortune 3 and Jhin 2 getting picked up, Milk was also able to find that Sivir 2, so that should hopefully have him stabilize his board a little bit more. And we can see it on the right side. He has found a win, and maybe this is the turning point now that everything is nice and stable on the striker board where he can come up. But I think TXE is also on that moment. We just saw him see Hit and Echo still leading this lobby. Very, very interesting board from him here. I'm actually gonna hop on over and see what we're doing. We are on the Assassin Mutants from TXE, so that will be very exciting. Once he can find that K2, I am scared for everybody else.
Yeah, that Kha'Zix, I mean, it's not the best mutant for him, but Voidborn certainly is going to still be a little bit of a benefit. As you're mentioning, these lobby HPs are pretty close right now. No one is running away with this game, though. TXE has 60 from all the way from 1st to 5th. There's a 10 HP gap. It's when we start to get down to Wuzul and Unid and Milk, people start really worrying, and Wuzul hits the Draven 2 right now. So everyone in that bottom 3 has hit their main power spike, right? Milk with that Sivir 2, Misfortune 3 for Unid, and now Draven 2 for Wuzul. What's going to be strong right now? Is it the Sivir or is the Misfortune 3? It's looking like it's going to be Sivir. The Jhin, oh yeah, it's still Sivir at the end of the day. Better than the reroll AP Misfortune composition. Unid, that's not the matchup that you wanted, and that's 15 HP is rough at this point.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you need really probably one stat Ari that he also has on board to be 2-star at least, so she can get something going. She was completely deleted instantly there, and then the MF was kind of stuck on a target where she shouldn't have been, so yeah. I think it wasn't ideal in terms of position, but I also think the Sivir is just stronger in default. So two of the factors playing against Unit here not really working out as we go into Raptors and see what TFT is up to. Still needing that K2 if we really want to go this route. Only K1 for now. Fully itemized Malzahar. And we're rolling a little bit, seeing what's in there, but nothing too appetizing. Finds the Seraphine, picks it up. Seraphine 2 being hit, also finds those Sivirs. Gonna pick those up as well, just because. And yeah, we also still have some items to work with. Finds the Vi 2. Big roll down for TXE.
Yeah, big roll down, but it's very interesting because TXT is just kind of playing a little bit of everything right now. There was a Draven 2 on the board that literally had 0 synergies, no Debonair, no Challenger. It was kind of in there just, you know, for fun. And now a Vi is in there kind of filling the same role. This Malzahar is kind of carrying Kaisa items. I'm sure that is where TXE wants to land on. Everything is building towards it, but Malzahar is not going to be able to carry all the way through stage 5. Is enough for this round. Still healing enough, and with the Void board, it is! The Malzahar hangs on, Mix, and wins just narrowly.
Milk is out! Milk has gotten 8th place, knocked out in this round, while Unit was just barely holding on, now down to single ditches, 8 HP. 8 HP is what we're working with for Unit, so any loss at this moment could be the very last. We see him on 30 gold, thinking of what we do. Probably should roll down here to find that Ari2, but doesn't look like he's going to do it.
No, I mean, greeting it out, right? You gotta play risky at these portions, or these stages of the game, is going up against Reroll, who, yeah, the great Zephyr onto the Galio, delaying that heroic slam is going to be huge, and the MF casts are a little bit better than the last fight that we saw. Can the MF cast on the Draven, though? One cast might be able to take it out, and yes, she's able to do it, but there's still a Jinx in the back line. Oh, it's not gonna be enough.
The greed! This hurts. He could have at least wrote down those 30 gold, but you know, it sometimes plays that way where you think your board is stable enough and, you know, think you can make it to the carousel or something, but Ging hitting that Syndra too, and now we're gonna go over. We have the fully itemized Ari here, and actually a Thieves Gloves. I'm so surprised to see this. We see the Thieves Gloves Syndra. What is it? Not Syndra. I can't. Zyra. I'm so confused by what's happening here. Wouldn't you rather want that on another unit, Crone?
Looking at the board state here, I mean, having on a Vex 1 in the front line is not that much of a value. It's probably either Zyra or Syndra that these go on. It's probably the items that Ging was just left on. And okay, finally there is a Kaisa. Is it going to be enough? However, no. The Ari did a bit too much work there. The TG there is, not the most ideal, but it's what Ging has to work with right now. But the major thing is, Ging has fully pivoted away from that assassin heart in the early game, so one of the augments is getting actually 0 value. You never want to be in that spot, but sometimes you have to, especially with the route that Ging has gone, has hit the RE2. This is not bad, but with this Arcanist, might be able to go into a 6 Arcanist, maybe get into the top 4 this game. I mean, the HPs are still so close. There are players playing unideal carries, right? With TXE and Woozle, the non-Sivir boards. This is a game that's really going to be defined by these unorthodox playstyles, right? Even Megumin in 2nd place right now, still rocking, obviously, that Twitch reroll composition. It's very impressive that they're able to make it into that spot. The Thieves Gloves roll here may be a little bit better for that Zyra. Maybe some AP items. Zyra, a very underrated unit, but look at Woozle, level 9 makes this board is looking pretty strong.
Yeah, I mean, we have 2 legendary units, 3 legendary units, all of them on 1 star still, but we're gonna meet Megaman with the Twitch reroll in the bottom right corner, and that Twitch is trying to do the work. Will get stuck on the Draven, and that Zeri, and takes out the Zeri. She can't fire off. Now on to the Draven. Both of the backline carries have been taken out. only the Jinx in the middle is trying to do the thing she does best and put everything in fire, but it's not enough. Megumin finds the win against Buzul here, and he loses a lot of HP from this.
Yeah, he does. 1 life remaining. Any loss will be Wuzul's last. There's 2 Brahms on the board, and Braum wins just because there's no other good units to play here. Wuzul really wanting to roll into some upgrades. Doesn't look like they're going to find them. Lilu hits an RE2 on the other side. TXE hits a Kaisa pair. With the Nikos, that's a Kaisa 2. That's huge.
Amazing. Is able to find that. You were calling it out from the mid game onward, seeing that Malzahar. Now we have her execute mutants. Just look at what that Kaisa is going to do. The Twitch probably won't matter for her as much as it will go on other targets, so she will be undistracted in the backline. And as I speak, the Twitch finds her. She's dashing away completely, nukes him out of his way, and TXT finds the win against Megumin.
Oh man, oh, such a close fight here as well. Wuzul hangs on against Ging. Makes this lobby is intense. Everyone is going blow for blow. Wuzul actually hit the Galio too. Now there's a Death Blade on this dragon. Not the best item there. It'll certainly just go over to the Jinx. Megumin gets a Gargoyles. Lilu gets a Banshee's Claw, which is actually pretty good. Yeah, for that Lucian to be able to.
I don't care.
I know it's always so hard to when items change names, but yeah, it's still whatever you want to call it. It's still really good.
We are in BCLF's court, who has found the Bloodthirster. Fully itemized Jace already, so we can't slam it on there. But where would you put this?
Oh, the BT, yeah, it can't go on to the Jace. It's honestly just on a unit that you want to cast one more time, and hopefully that Bloodthirster shield makes the difference. Orianna or Seraphine probably going to be the go-to there. Replaces the Singed with the Ezreal just to get 2 scrap on there. It ends up going on the Seraphine, but I'm not sure the Seraphine's going to make too much of a difference. It's probably a non-factor regardless, right? It's not going to have too much of value wherever you put it. But oh, this Galio from Wuzul looks so scary, Mix.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of big chunky units. I have made this known throughout the Rising Legend circuit, but here he comes not to be trifled with. There's a Jinx 2 in the mix as well, completely firing against the backline, but the Zeri and the Draven are gonna do the major carrying here, and VCLF is out. The rest of the lobby is safe for another day, but TXC and Buzul down to single digits. Any loss would be their last one.
Oh, single digit HP. VCLF unfortunately does take that 6th. TXC gonna be playing either Lilu or Wuzul here. TXC did lose the last round. Wow, didn't expect that to happen. Kassadin upgrade comes through. Nothing else happens but just some last second positioning. It's gonna come down to this Kaisa and what she's able to do.
Oh, and there's the Lucian 3-star from Lilu, and that will maybe mix it up a little bit. Not with an Arcanist spat this time around like we've seen so many times, but it is doing a lot of the work. Can it do enough against that Kaisa? And it can! The Lucian and the Ahri dream teaming it out and taking the win here down to the top 4.
Wow, that huge Lucian burst there, tearing through the Kaisa, didn't even give her an opportunity to heal back up. And, that's so unfortunate there. TXE, OCE's last hope. I mean, still 5th is not bad. They're still in an okay spot to move forward into tomorrow if the next couple of games are solid. But now Ging. EMEA's hope makes you're sure happy to see Ging in the top 4 in this situation. Is still rolling for more, trying to see a Victor 2. It's not going to come through. But this board also, a lot of AP this game. Isn't going to work out.
I thought the same thing. I said before we went into this, it's been very AD heavy lobbies, and now we've seen so much AP come through from these players here. But Ging is gonna meet that Lucian, and just look at it in the backline, firing. The Ahri is still alive. Will ult one more time. Maybe she can take out that Lucian. Yes, she can. But will it be enough? There's a Vex, there's a Zyra, and she's gonna finish it off. Ging takes the win, but Lilu lives for another day, just barely.
Oh, what a lobby right now. This is so intense. Everyone is fighting for their tournament lives here. That comes down to such small things right now. It's each positioning kind of a micro niche right here. If there are any Shrouds or Zephyrs, the last second positioning swaps, even things right now like we see of Ging getting a Victor too. It's these small differences that might be enough damage to make it through. Also splitting the carries as well right there. Victor on one side, Ahri on the other. That's going to be huge when it comes to going up against Megumin's board with this Frozen Heart Echo. You can't hit both of them. The Twitch as well really is going to do well when they jump to one side, but everyone's board is as capped as it's going to be right now, Mix. This is so intense.
Just look at the HP on the right side of the screen. Everybody is down to single digits. This could be the end for two of these players, and obviously we're only going to be able to see one board here, and it's going to be Ging against Wozul, and Ging trying to make it with that Victor in the backline. Gonna fire once the Galio is onto him. Here comes Draven and Jinx lashing away at them. The Zyra is still alive, but this time it won't be enough. Ging takes the loss here, and so does Lilu. Both of them out, and we're down to Megumin and Wozul as our final players of Game 4.
Max, you know, I just realized there is 0 Sivir in the top 4 in this game. Everyone has gone a different direction. The one AD, or I guess the two AD boards, right? Twitch AD carry as well, are Draven and a Twitch, but there is a Jinx too online for Woozle right now as well. Maybe it is going to be worth it to split these Draven and Jinx because Megumin has that Frozen Heart Echo.
Yeah,
I mean,
let's just look where this Echo goes. It's gonna jump on over, not onto the Jinx or the Draven at all. This is really good for Wozul from the start here, but the Twitch is also unobstructed, firing from the sidelines. Gonna try and take out that Draven, will succeed. Now it is the Twitch against that Jinx, and can he do enough here? Galio comes down, but the Twitch makes it. Megumin with the Twitch reroll gets the first place. I cannot believe my eyes.
I think no one expected Twitch reroll to even come out in this tournament, let alone get a first place in the lobby. What a game, and that is insane. Megumin needed a top finish in the game. Got it. It was with the Twitch reroll. Necra, that was fantastic.
I was not expecting that either. I mean, Panda did say he wanted a bit more reroll, and we kind of got it there. So I think it's awesome to see the Twitch reroll, the Tryndamere reroll really being a part of the competition today.
And this was the end of Game 4. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next game.